Perceiving the world through our senses is one of the most effortless abilities that we possess. We don't even think twice about how we're able to hear the sounds within our environment. In this instance, my voice, the sounds of my hands clapping, feet stomping, well, effortless, right? Now I want you all to think about this effortless ability as something that's extremely complex. So complex that even after decades of research, we have no definitive answer as to how the brain achieves this. So this is where my research comes in. Generally, I research how it is that we organize auditory information within our environments into meaningful objects. For example, how is it that a sound wave such as this turns into the perception of my nephew saying, "Get your camera ready," or into the perception of a falling waterfall, while at the same time being able to perceive people saying "cheese" while snapping a photo? Or how does it turn into the perception of a vrooming airplane? In any one of these instances, we would be able to hear these sounds as coherent, complete, and unambiguous. Now I want you all to think about something. Within our natural environments, the information that our sensory systems are receiving are oftentimes ambiguous, incoherent, and disorganized. Okay. Good news. I remembered my line, but also the decades of research that have been done on this hasn't left us completely clueless. We know a lot about the processes that are involved, and I focus on one of those processes. What we do know is that our current perception is not strictly determined by our current sensory information. We also rely on prior sensory information. For example, if I were to play to you an ambiguous stimulus, your perception of that same exact stimulus could change depending on what I previously presented to you, something known as a context effect. So the purpose of my research is to understand how does the brain utilize prior information in order to help us disambiguate auditory information. I'm currently using a technique known as EEG to help me answer this question. EEG records neural activity with great temporal precision. I can then take this activity and analyze it in such a way that I'm able to make conclusions about what processes are involved with context effects and where exactly do they occur within the brain. Studying sensory processes such as context effects allow us to have a better understanding of how sensory systems work in order to produce our coherent perceptions of the world. By doing this, we can take this information and develop treatments for individuals who are living with conditions where sensory processing is abnormal, such as those living with autism or schizophrenia. And of course, we can gain more knowledge about this mystified piece of machinery we all have, the brain. Thank you.